Need to brighten the day of a treasured friend? I'm Jill with Close to My Heart, and today I'm going to show you how to make this cute card using our Kaleidoscope collection. First, let's take a look at what the collection has to offer. The Kaleidoscope collection features playful pastel colors and enchanting complements, dazzling assortments and glittery purple hearts, and even shiny silver foil tape. Let's get started on making our card. I'm going to start with this piece of white daisy cardstock, and I'm using the Diamonds Are Forever stamp set. I love this one because of the trendy rhinestones and gems in here, and I'm going to use the word "You're One of a Kind." This is a brand new set, so I'm just going to season that really quickly by rubbing it on my arm to get the stamp ready to be used. And I'm taking Versamark ink, and I'm simply going to stamp the sentiment right in the center towards the top. And then my next sentiment that I'm using is "Don't let anyone dull your sparkle." It's a fun little sentiment at the bottom. Again, I'm going to season that up a little bit. I'm also going to stamp on this diamond pattern, so I'm using it as my guide for a second so that I make sure that my stamps line up. You can't see that yet, but through the magic of embossing, you're going to see this come to life. So I'm just going to put a piece of cardstock under this so I can sprinkle on. We're doing white on white on white right now, but it's going to become a magical thing in just a minute. So here I've got my embossing powder. Just going to make sure the entire stamped images are coated. Tap off any excess. And then I'm just going to use my heat gun. Let's move that foam, because that will melt the foam, but if you're using this pad, it will not melt at all. It's made for this. Okay. So now, again, you can't see anything quite yet, but now I'm going to watercolor over all of my stamping. And I'm just going to take some of these really fun pinks. And this is where you really can just get creative and organic with your watercolors. I'm taking all these different shades of pink and letting them blend together, and you can see the words are starting to come right off because the watercolor will not color your embossing. It acts as a resist, your watercolor does. So I can just push this watercolor paint all around. I love how you can blend watercolors. See, I'm adding that really bright pink for a second and just let those all kind of mold and marry together, and it makes such a cool pattern. The more water you use as well, the more your paint will spread and the more of that look you'll get, the organic look here. I'm just spreading that around so that all my words are coated, and I've also kind of just created this really cool background border with the watercolors. Don't try and make it too perfect like I'm actually going through right now, trying to make there be some edges to that. Then I like to go back in with a lot of water and just drop some color and let that all blend together. So I've done this first so that I can set it aside and let it dry for a minute before I assemble it to my card front. So I'm going to set this aside, give that a minute to dry, and now I'm going to start with this white piece here. And I'm taking my foil tape. I love the silver foil tape because it's so thin, but it also adds such a good impact. I'm just going to make a lot of little strips, 6 across the top and 6 across the bottom. So I'm going to cut a few right now. And I'm just creating a diagonal background. So here I'm adding a piece. This is all going to get covered up. Okay, that's going to add just a great little touch of detail and shine to our gem card. Piece just cut off. Now I'm going to attach that to a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 base of Whisper cardstock. So here I'm just going to adhere this down. It's got just enough of a border. And now I'm still waiting for that watercolor to dry, so I'm going to stamp my gem. And I'm going to use this one right here on our stamp set, this diamond pattern. And I'm going to use Glacier ink to stamp that. It's going to tie in really nicely with the Kaleidoscope papers we're using and the color scheme within those papers. So here's the diamond. And this has already been pre-cut on the Cricut Artistry cartridge. I'm just going to stamp that, and that's all ready to go. Now this is the piece of Kaleidoscope B&T. I love the background patterns. It's kind of hard to decide even which piece I want to use, but we're going to go with the purple side. The yellow would be pretty as well. I'm just adhering this to the card front, and again, it's just slightly shorter so that it lets those silver pieces of tape pop through. And then this piece that I've watercolored, it gets mounted to another piece of the Whisper cardstock, just to kind of build our layers here. It's still a little wet, so I'm being careful as I put that on. Then I adhere this with a little bit of foam tape to the front of the card, and again, put a little foam tape on my diamond to bring that all together. So here I have the finished card that's dry, and you can see it's all put together with the dimension on the foam tape as well, and the watercolor just really brings that embossing to life. You can also use our Kaleidoscope collection to capture the gems of life, such as wall decor, more cards, or even scrapbook pages. We love to see how you use the Kaleidoscope collection. Show us using the hashtag CTMH Kaleidoscope. Subscribe to our channel and make sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and our blog, makeitfromyourheart.com. Want to use some of these enchanting products? Contact your independent consultant, and if you don't have one, go to closetomyheart.com to find one in your area.